How y'all doing, YouTube? Today I'm gonna talk to y'all about why YouTube made me leave New York City. Actually, in fact, right now I am in New York City. That's a kind of like ironic or hypocritical in the moment, but I work in New York City. So boom, right? Now let me talk to y'all. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, first and foremost, I'm originally from the Bronx. Right now I'm in the Bronx. Yeah, so I lived in the Bronx like nearly my whole life. Maybe to like 24, 25. After that, my family, I lived with my mom and shit like that. And we lived, well, I don't even know if it was 25. I'm trying to remember the ages or whatever. Anyway, my family moved to Yonkers, and that was my first transition out of New York City. I ended up dating this lovely lady that I'm currently with, and I ended up moving back to the Bronx. Ooh, negative vibe, negative energy. Long story short, I wound up getting me a 1-bedroom outside of New York City into Connecticut, in Waterbury, Connecticut, and there was like just super duper transitions that made me realize that like I no longer wanted to live in New York City. Not only did I not want to live in New York City no more, there were so many benefits to not living in New York City. So let's tap into why I decided to leave New York City and develop my life and go further out, right? So boom. First things first, when I first lived in New York City, and I'm talking about before any of that transition about out to Yonkers or whatever, I didn't drive. So the driving thing was like, it was cool because I was like, yo, I'm taking a train anyway. I'm taking a train, I'm taking a bus. I'm getting where I gotta go. It's gonna take me this amount of time. I don't care, right? The moment I learned how to drive and the moment I realized, wait, I can kind of get somewhere faster if I decided to drive or learn how to drive. And when I knew how to drive, it was like, wait, what's the point of living in New York City if I could just drive to New York City to get to my job? At the time, I think I was working for YAI, mental health, OPWDD, whatever the case may be. And I was driving to and from that location to Yonkers because that was the first time I got my whip. And I was like, oh shit, like this is light work. This is like, I'm really doing this, you know what I mean? 20 minutes there, 20 minutes there, it's fine, right? So boom, I ended up doing that. I ended up working in that or whatever. The guy, the head of it, whatever, he was hating on me. He was like, oh, you think you got your nice little car, you shining now? Nigga, I was shining because, you know, come on, coming from the Bronx, coming from the city, coming from the hood, you get in a car, you get in a whip, that's a level up. You leveling up, that's a milestone. So I'm gonna clap it up, like, because that was a win-win-win for me, right? And I didn't even know how good it was to me. Then I started taking trips. Like, I used to take trips from back and forth from the Bronx to Canada, 6 hours back and forth. And I'm like, wait, I can make these long commutes. Not every day, but I was making them. And I was like, you know, what if I lived a little bit outside of the city? So I winded up always wanted to live in Waterbury, Connecticut. One of my friends that I worked with in YI, he was like, yo, like, I saw these apartments in Waterbury, Connecticut. I pay about $800 for rent, and I'm driving back and forth. Like, and I was like, wait, what? You driving back and forth from Waterbury, Connecticut, $800? I was fixated. Like, damn, I think I could do $800. That's not so bad. So boom. Long story short, it's not $800 no more anyway. But long story short, I had another friend. I told him about Waterbury, Connecticut, and he moved out there, started his whole life, and he was like, yo, I'm never coming back. Like, it's nice. The thing about me was I don't like change. So change was really challenging to me. And I was like, nah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, whatever the case may be. I kept saying I was gonna do it. I kept saying it. I kept saying, nah, I'm gonna push it back. Got into relationships. Nah, I'm gonna push it back. Long story short, I started watching YouTube, and I started watching this thing about like not being afraid of change, not being afraid to transition your life and take a step forward, right? So I decided to take a step forward because, you know, of the video that I watched on YouTube. And I can't tell you enough how abundant I feel based on actually transitioning and taking a step out of the known, you know, like, and the fear of the unknown, and not knowing if it's gonna work out, and not knowing if, like, you know, I'm going to make it, if bills is gonna be paid, if I can handle the responsibility that I want, right? So boom, long story short, anybody who's listening to this and listen to this far, I want to encourage y'all to know, like, anything that you do in life, if you ask for it, if you believe, you shall receive. There's no way in life that if you're in a positive energy that you cannot attract the life that you want. But you have to believe in yourself. Believe that you're mature enough and knowledgeable enough to handle any circumstance that God places in front of you. That's what I want to start with first. So boom, I decided to get this 1-bedroom outside of New York City in Waterbury, Connecticut, and it's lit. Like, first of all, I was living in the Bronx with my current girlfriend, right, or whatever the case may be, but we had our issues. What relationship doesn't, right? So what winded up happening, right, niggas in the hood bashing my window. Psh. Yo, recently my Audi, it's a 2015, it's kind of old, but they bashed the window, and I was like, yo, all right, I'm gonna go get, because normally, like, if somebody bashing my window, I'm like, all right, I'm about to pay $140, $130, nothing too spectacular. So I went to go get this window fixed. Niggas was like $250. I'm like, who got $250? What y'all talking about? $250? So anyway, I had to pay $250 to get my window fixed, and I'm like, yo, I live in Connecticut, but I'm out here, you know, spending time with you, and my windows is getting bashed. Cut it. I'm never, like, the Bronx has such a distaste in my, like, pause in my mouth, because in actuality, I'm just losing. It's like a losing battle. Like, hey, I'm saving this money, I'm trying to pay my bills, I'm trying to get it all together. Now, you gotta pay that. Like, then you got these tickets and tickets and tickets that you're getting. It's fucking up the whole energy. It's fucking up the whole vibe. Excuse my French, because it gets me frustrated. It gets me passionate, right? Because I'm losing in a cycle of a situation that I'm trying to win in, you know? And I don't think that the Bronx, I don't think the city, especially, like, the more, the environments that have most poverty, right, are destined to win. They don't design it for us to win. They design it for us to lose, in fact. So I ended up saying, you know, fuck that. I'm just gonna be out in Waterbury, Connecticut, and whatever the case may be. One, I got parking. Boom. Nobody bashing my window. My window good. It's a quiet area. Like, it's just so peace and I never understood how much that impacts my thought process, my energy, the way I show up to the universe, or the way I show up to my family, in fact, just by just having such a positive energy, quiet energy surrounding. There's no dirt, no garbage on the floor. Like, these are things that I never even thought that areas had, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially areas that I could afford. I pay $16.50 for my rent now, for the 1-bedroom, and I'm like, you know, it was kind of steep, but it was like, not having my windows bashed, having a peace of mind, having, you know, serenity, having calmness. I'll pay double that just to have, you know, positive energy surrounding me. So I encourage everybody who's listening to this, like, yo, listen to positive videos on YouTube, because it started shifting my perspective of things, and why made me aware of certain things that I'm indulging in. It's not helping me anymore. It's not assisting my life anymore. I couldn't be where I'm at today without making some changes in life. And I think I consider those changes sacrifices, because we got to sacrifice our old self to become our new person, the new person we want to be, the energy we want to attract, right? So boom, I had to change certain things about myself, that the good, bad, and the ugly, you know what I'm saying? And based on me changing those things, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty comfortable in my skin of who I am now, because it's like I went through those challenges, I went through those trials, I went through those tribulations. But if I was afraid to go through those things, could I have made it to the next level? You see, I think everybody needs to shift their perspective of how they think that they can tackle a problem. A problem doesn't have to be a problem, because every problem has a solution, right? So if we have a solution to things, then we just got to think of the problem that we're in. My problem at one point was I didn't know how to drive. So how am I going to get to know how to drive? Thank God he brought me somebody in this life that taught me how to drive. Once I learned how to drive, it was like, all right, my problem is I need my own spot, right? So how I'm gonna get this own spot? Like, how I'm gonna balance it? Now I gotta learn how to budget money. You know, and I think that the thing about coming from poverty, not only coming from poverty, but being from a single parent home, right? It's like you don't, all right, let me make this real quick because I just got cut off. You don't get those tricks or to the trade that like everybody else gets. Like, you don't know how to budget your money. You don't know how to not finance and just own everything you want to have. You don't know how to play the game properly. So you have to tap in and learn. Like, you don't know where that information should come from, and if it's good information or if it's negative information. So what do we do then when everybody's saying something? There's a message coming to us from different ways. Which one is the right one and which one's the wrong one? And it seems like, you know, things like drugs, alcohol, especially in poverty environments, they consume our minds. So they consume our minds, our money, and our time. And we don't realize that we pour so much energy into that, into having people around us that think the same. Like they're in for a good time. We're all gonna have. I can't tell y'all how many friends I had when I wasn't doing the right thing. When I'm deciding to uplift myself and move forward, this is alone. I'm doing this alone, and I'm doing it alone because not everybody is in the same vibrant energy. And when I say alone, I don't mean alone. I mean like it's not as many people on the same energy. Not everybody doesn't want the same things out of life, and that's properly okay. Or they don't want the same things at the same time, and that's okay, right? Because I know what I want. I know what the people around me that I want around me need, and for that, I'm going to achieve the things by sticking with the proper energies that's alike, that attract the same thought process that I have. I've been blessed to have that around me, to see it, to learn from it, and that's the reason why I was able to start stepping into a new energy, into a new light, because everything that I believed in at one point and everything that the other people that I was around didn't believe in didn't align. So yeah, moral of the story is that if you're really trying to transition and change yourself, I feel like I've been blessed to have YouTube. Sorry guys, like I'm trying to I've been blessed to have YouTube to give me the proper energy, proper knowledge to push me in the right direction to gain this life of abundance and assist me to get out of New York City with me, my family, and all of that. And I didn't even tap into the family talk because I don't want to do that right now. I just want the message to be, hey, if you're in a situation right now that you feel like low, you feel like you can't make it, you don't know what to do, I encourage you to make yourself more aware, gain some more knowledge, and realize that there's nothing in this world you can't do. There's nothing in this world, in this universe, that you won't learn if you don't gain it. The moment I started reading books, and if you don't even want to read books, I'm going to end it right here because I really want y'all to feel this. You don't have to read books to listen to books. Even if you're not driving or whatever the case may be, you can listen to Audible on the train or the bus, whatever it is. I'm telling y'all this because I was there. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't here before. And to somebody who's from New York City, this is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is listen to Audible about books about self-development. and start realizing how you can shift your mindset, your perspective, and become the person you want to be, and the positive energy you want to attract, and emotionally regulate yourself. But that all started with YouTube. That all started with wanting more for myself and believing in myself that I can receive more from the universe. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time. And I want the best for you. Tune in.